Hello, welcome back to Mrs. Hewitt's Spelling at Home. I have a new root word for you today for your Key Stage 2 session, and this is a free morpheme. What does a free morpheme mean? Can you remember? Okay, I'll tell you. It is when the root morpheme can also be a word by itself. Okay, so it's an actual word on its own as well as being a morpheme that can have things attached to it. A bound morpheme is a morpheme that isn't a word by itself and it has to have things attached to it. That's something you can remember. Okay, so it's a free morpheme. It is this one. It is void. Okay, so void can be a word by itself. It's from the old French void, which means empty, originally from the Latin, and I've got to say this right, because I'm reading upside down, vocivos or vocivos, I'm not sure if it's soft C, vocivos, meaning unoccupied or empty. Okay, and this is related to the same root here that we did when we did vac. So we talked about vacuum, and the vac meaning empty, vacate. Okay, so void and vac come from the same original root meaning empty. So we have got void there. Now there's only a couple of prefixes that attach to this. So I'm going to pop the grid up and you can build some words, but they all kind of have the same sort of meaning. So the word sums probably won't have a lot of discussion around meaning today. It's more just about building those words and spelling them correctly, okay? So I'm going to pop the grid up to the screen, pause the video and build your word sums. Okay, so the main one here, if we've got the avoid, okay, we've got avoid, and that a has assimilated from the prefix x, meaning out, okay, or away from. So it originally was x void, but x void was quite hard to say. Remember, lots of times the spelling in English actually comes from the fact that for ease of speech. So x void was quite difficult, so over time it became avoid, probably evoid and then avoid kind of over time. So we've got avoid, okay? So here are words. So we've got avoid, avoided, avoidable. Remember, avoid is all to do with steering clear of or being away from somebody. So that kind of space that you want to keep empty, you're avoiding it, okay? So it's being unoccupied, it's avoided, it's a space you don't want to go in. So avoid as the verb, to avoid somebody or something, to leave that space alone. We've got avoided, avoidable, so we've got that able bit because you are able to avoid it. And then we've got the other prefix here, un meaning not. So if it was unavoidable, you literally can't avoid it. You can't get away from it, okay? So sometimes we might say some of our work is unavoidable, but you have to do it. So unavoidable. And then we've got avoidance. And remember, it's an ance there, avoidance, okay, being the noun. And then we've got unavoidably. So this is the only word here where we've got the a spelling rule you need to apply. This is where we've got the able and the ly. So unavoidable being the adjective, the l I'm making it the adverb. But we've got able and ly. We don't say unavoidably, because the double l just gets confusing. So we take the l and the e off there and just pop the ly on there. Okay, so those two sort of assimilate together to make avoidably, that ably ending. Okay, so we've got unavoidably, and then the last one here is devoid. Okay, we've only got devoid. You can't really have any of these endings with devoid because devoid is an adjective, it describes somebody. So if you said something was devoid of all emotions, for example, it means they're completely empty, they have no emotions there. Okay, so again, de meaning kind of away and not as well. So devoid meaning empty. Okay, devoid of things. That's a really useful, good word you could put into some of your descriptions. So the forest was devoid of all feeling. It'd be very spooky, good to set the atmosphere. Okay, so they are your void words. You could also, of course, just have void on its own and voided, like a transaction was voided. If you cancel it, it means it's not there anymore, okay? But generally, the words that you'll probably be using the most is avoid and avoidable. Okay, that is today's session. You need to do your sentence writing. Please do your sentence writing and don't just write a really boring sentence. Remember about all those sentence rules that we teach you about interesting words and why you're saying things, and you know, could you write a persuasive sentence or a descriptive sentence, things like that. Okay, so try and sort of keep testing yourself while you're at home as well, because otherwise you're going to forget all those things we've taught you about sentences. Okay, that is it for today. I will see you back here tomorrow for another session. Okay, bye.